decided to do it again.
Right. I bet you some of those are 12 foot tall.
I know they are. About 10 or 12 bucket loads of cow manure from up here by the barn and dumped it in there, and things really grew.
I bet they did. You know, I've got to go back and film the flower boxes at the art co-op. Weren't those incredible? The color was like somebody had poured batteries on them or something because they were so vibrant.
Those are my sweet peas. I like sweet peas.
They smell fantastic. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
This is the first of Betty's stash, and she has made all of these quilts in here.
Put that in there.
Of course. Maybe. We'll see. I'm going to unpack each and every one of them and make... I thought you thought you're going to do me a show. Yeah, well, because every quilt has a story, doesn't it?
Most of them do.
And you know, I always tell everybody, if they don't have a story, I'll make one up. That's quite an impressive pile, Betty.
We both got them. And then this is my mom's iron, called a sad iron. When they had to iron clothes, they put this on the stove and get it hot.
Right.
And iron until it cooled down. And
wow. And this is your newest sewing machine here. This is what you're doing all your big quilts on, right? Just for scale, there's the size of my hand, and I'm not a big guy. Just walk through those berry bushes and down those steps. Here's my new rowboat. I think I'm gonna take this out fishing tomorrow. See how that goes. But anyways, Betty's house is just through that sunlight. And if you scan with me, I am now on their little private beach. Apparently that island there, if I remember the story correctly, is where her folks first settled and built little lodging and a little garden up on that rock while they settled the land here. Group of kayakers going by out front. Pretty incredible here. So yes, Gail, thank you very much for inviting me to stay at your mom's house. It looks like this is going to work out in my benefit. Okay, earlier I mentioned in one of the last videos that I've got a bunch of camping gear with me, and I've been dying to sleep on the earth, on the ground. I have something that I love to do, and I don't get to camp often enough. I don't think you can ever camp often enough. So here I am at Betty's property, and I realize, why on earth would I sleep inside when I can sleep outside and not be bothered? So that little patch of grass right there, overlooking the water, is going to be my home for the next couple nights. Betty said I can set my tent up out here. There's a little bonfire pit down by the beach. I can play my guitar and just enjoy myself. So Betty, thank you so much for a wonderful campsite. And then tomorrow night I'll be doing my little quilt show for Betty's sewing group and friends and family over at the little picnic area, which I'll show you here in a second. This was part of an old sawmill that I believe it was her grandfather had set up when they first settled here. And that is also going to be the picnic area for tomorrow night's big family quilt show. That didn't take long at all. That's going to be my view in the morning, and I get to listen to the ocean lap against the rocks all night long. Quilters out there, friends, family, I believe I found heaven. Sunrise from my tent. Just a few minutes late, I guess, but definitely up with the roosters this morning. Be another great day. Well, hello, day 9 of the Pacific Northwest quilting tour, and basically day 1 of R&R on Orcas Island. Had a nice breakfast with Betty this morning, helped stack some firewood around the property, those kinds of fun things. It's about lunchtime, and I'm going to set out for about a 4-mile hike. I believe, keep in mind believe, because you know I'm always lost, I believe I'm going to be hiking the Cascades Lake loop with falls is the end destination, I'm hoping. So anyways, I've got a map, I've got my GPS, we'll see what works out here, but isn't this beautiful? So this is a hilltop lake called Mountain Lake, and there's a few other lakes up in this area, Twin Lakes and Cascade Lakes, that hopefully I'll be seeing over the next few days while I'm enjoying my stay on Orcas Island. and here's the scene from the other side of the camera. So I was just filming the lake behind me here, and wonderful. This is what I call bungee forest. So everything's covered with this real low-lying fern and moss. It happens a lot in the wetlands. Lots of big tall trees, and I'm pretty sure this is where all the fairies and all the magic happens in the forest. This is pretty cool stuff. Keep you posted to what I find. Just listen for a second. Isn't that one of the prettiest sounds ever? Just love being out in nature, especially now that I'm always looking for new ways to improve my quilting and my art by learning from nature. See what I mean? Quilting ideas everywhere. This is the development of the square in a square block in nature. This is called a tree in a tree. One running horizontal, one running vertical. Of course, that looks like a PC nightmare. Okay, everybody, I'm trying to get Cascade Lakes in the background there. Thanks for joining me for that portion of the hike. Now, I've got just a couple of hours until the barbecue and personal quilt show starts tonight at the Willis Woodside Family Farm. Apparently the whole town has heard about it. John was out this morning with a megaphone in his truck. You know, it's a small island, and if you've lived here your whole life, everyone knows you. And they do an annual picnic at their picnic area, and I've now found out I'm the guest of honor, and I'll be presenting my quilts this evening, and it's going to be an absolute blast. But I want to get home in time to shower, clean up a little bit, you know. I also want to get up to Twin Lakes. Lunch break, having a little rest. I've got a couple more hours I can spend outside. And there we are sitting on the log. It's kind of suspended over the cliff, looking down at the lake. So I'll take a quick 15, and then I'm going to push on up to Twin Lakes, and then back to the truck, and then over to the picnic lunch, or excuse me, picnic dinner party for the quilt show tonight. This little girl wants my lunch. Just arrived up at the Twin Lakes. I've got about 45 minutes to go around this small little lake and then back down, which will be about 2 miles to the truck, so I should be just fine for this evening's big festivities. Just make it back to the truck. It's a few minutes after 3, and I'm gonna stretch my legs a little here, rest up, and then head on over to the Willis Woodside Family Farm for the big picnic of the summer. Okay, the guests are starting to arrive at the picnic ground here. Met a few of them already. And this I think is pretty darn cool. Some of them even came by sailboat. They brought their little dinghy over to the shore. Isn't that cool? The island lifestyle is amazing. So all of these folks lined up here, and they want to buy some of my stuff and see some of my quilts, so I got to get busy. Yeah, you might end up famous. Look at that. They even have crab legs. I think I saw a couple of those guys yesterday swimming around down on the point.
Okay, Mary Gardner.
Wow.
Who's Mary Gardner? Is that you? I just met you. Smart car with a quilt. Fabulous. Now you've got to drive it over so I can get a picture of it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's the quilt show for Orcas Island. All right. That wasn't staged at all. And there's the stack of quilts. See, I did it. There we go. Thank you again, everybody.